Yeah, good morning. Heat front came through today. This is nice. But anyway, yeah, excited for the opportunity this weekend. Reflect a little bit on the CU game, and we'll continue to do that. We were off yesterday, so we hadn't seen them since that win. So we'll do some quick reflection on that one, and then quickly turn our attention to a really, really good Iowa State team, very well coached. Obviously, some dominant players on this team, and and had two great battles with them a year ago in here. Big weekend, I know, for both basketball programs, so should be exciting in the Coliseum with the men starting Saturday and then us on Sunday afternoon. So just looking forward to the opportunity.
Coach, this time of year, obviously, fatigue can start to set in. How do you adjust practices, or do you, to try to save some legs?
Yeah, well, I don't know that we're quite. We will adjust always want to adjust if we need to, but I don't know that we're quite there yet. Back in the day, it kind of always, when we played double round robin league schedules, it was always when you got to the second half, when you flipped and started playing everybody for the second time was kind of the general, I thought, rule for me at least on when you could cut back. There was familiarity from a scouting standpoint. Not necessarily the case. So now we're not even at the halfway point of the league schedule yet. So that's another way that we look at it a little bit is when you get to the halfway part of the league schedule, now maybe you want to start cutting back. What's your travel schedule, days off, those types of things. So we're coming off of a day off right now, so we don't necessarily have to cut back today. But as we move forward, because we play on Sunday, now we don't before we play Arizona. So that will become a long stretch. You just keep an eye on it, recover. We've gotten pretty good at that, recovery and massages and ice baths and cryos and everything else that the kids can do now to take care of their bodies. But certainly we know their output, we know their mileage after every game, so we know all of that information, so we can adjust practices based on that.
Now you've done it a couple of times. What is the 2 home games, 2 away games? What kind of factor does that have on the fatigue?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just the travel and getting back late. Those are the issues when you run into maybe weather, or you get back at 3 or 4 in the morning and you don't have a day off behind it and you have to play another 2 days later. That's when that comes into play. 2 games a week is normal for us, whether we're on the road or at home. Like we were on the road for 5 straight days. We got plenty of sleep. We weren't moving all over the place. Like that wasn't necessarily the issue at all. I think it's when your schedule gets changed or altered, or you have a quick game off of a 1-day prep instead of a 2-day prep. That's when it kind of changes the most.
You said change. When you change practice, is that just less time on the court, more in the film room? What are the details behind the change?
Yeah, more mental reps as opposed to physical reps. So that can be in the weight room. It can be walkthroughs. It can be, get shots and, at certain, we always try to get them at the game speed, but, and you want to keep their rhythm. So I think shooting is always important to maintain. So it may be a little bit more of a shooting day and a walkthrough day, definitely film. And then, just instead of spending 10 minutes on a drill that you maybe did in November, December, you get it down to 6 minutes. And then practice obviously shortens if you can do that through most of your drills.
Coach, I know when you play Iowa State, a lot of the focus is on Crooks because of how talented she is. But their guard, Emily Ryan, how does she make them go, and how is she able to find Crooks even when teams try to take that away?
Yeah, no, I think she's the head of the snake for them. Emily Ryan is, but Audi Brown is that too, and she's taken a big old step too with this year, and she was a fantastic player a year ago. But yeah, Emily is she's a veteran. She's been around. She keeps her cool. She's very level-headed, fantastic passer, obviously. I think she's their all-time assist leader, if I'm not mistaken. And, Audi's probably the recipient of a lot of Emily Ryan passes if you were to break that down. But, yeah, fantastic player, hits big shots, has been in big moments. I don't know that she gets rattled a whole lot. I don't know her personally, but watching her body language in games, there's not a lot that seems to bother that kid.
Well, on Ryan, when you guys beat them here last year, she only had 5 assists and she had 9 turnovers. What did you feel that you guys did well defensively in that game?
Yeah, I don't know that it's really any different than what we always try to do and be disruptive and take them out of rhythm, keep them off balance. Obviously it's pressure and it's ball pressure, and we have some pretty elite defenders that can do that. But again, even maybe when she was turning it over in that game, I still didn't think her body language changed, and she's still a kid that you worry about even all the way till the last minute that she's going to make a big play, and that's what she did. I thought at their place is we didn't do that to her, and she just kind of controlled it late and did what she wanted to do, and we didn't do a great job of taking them out of their structure.
Are you seeing teams do
different things to try to defend against Audi Crooks this year? And then, in turn, are you seeing Audi do different things this year than she did a year ago?
Well, yeah, she's a better player today than she was a year ago at this time, without question. And yes, I think teams have tried probably everything, from doubles to fronts to play behinds to different, types of size. So, she's a matchup problem every night probably against about every team in the country. And so I think when you play teams like this, there is some sort of pick your poison approach to it. Is what do you, we don't want to give up necessarily anything, but what are you willing to maybe give up a hair or sacrifice? And, we'll continue to work through that. Again, I'm not going to give anything away, but we're going to continue to practice it and work on it and come up with a good game plan.
Are you constructed better to handle her with some of the size that you've added inside with, CC and Jordan and such? Do you think that's better for you?
I think we're deeper there. We're in a better position. There's more bodies, a little bit more size to throw at her. I don't, again, it's resistance and different looks and different personnel to try to slow her down. You are not going to stop her. She's going to get points. She's a fantastic player. But yeah, there's a few more bodies, but Donnell came in a year ago here in the second half and, battled, and just that size maybe helps a little bit, but Jordan Thomas can help with that a little bit more. Donnell needs to be ready, of course. CC can help and do some things. So yeah, I think we have a few more options than what we had a year ago.
You mentioned after the Colorado game that rebounding is something that, we don't necessarily box out as much as more. It's just angles and attacking the ball. Is that still in place with a team with this size and a team that rebounds as well as they do?
It is, yeah. It's still in play. This is a really, really good defensive rebounding team in Iowa State, and not that they're not great offensively. They are. I think they average 8 or 9 offensive rebounds, which isn't, at the top end, but certainly you better box them out. And Brown and Crooks are fantastic, and they have size. And I just think Brown's an unbelievably good basketball player. Her mind, her IQ, she's very, very skilled. She scores at every level. She plays off of Audi really, really well, too. So, those are the main 3. Their guards don't rebound a ton on the offensive end. I think they're, but they're elite transition defensive team. That's probably one of the reasons why, because they don't send as many at times to the boards, so they can get back in transition and contain the basketball. So, rebounding is always important. Those are extra possessions. If we're missing shots, we need to find offensive rebounds.
Coming from away, were you aware of the connections with Jerry West in West Virginia? Obviously, this is a big weekend, here for honoring him. And, what did you learn anything about him that either surprised you didn't know when you came here, and his legacy here?
Some. I knew of Jerry West, obviously. You knew of the connection to West Virginia, but no, I was not a historian by any stretch on Jerry West. And his playing days preceded me and my upbringing. So, I didn't know him from that standpoint, just knew him obviously as the NBA player, to be really probably honest, and the logo, of course. And then you come here, you see statue, you hear stories, so you start to learn a little bit more about it. But yeah, when you're the logo of the NBA, then you that probably sets the precedence for your impact. And, I've just learned, I guess, a few more, just the impact he had here and within the state. I guess that's what I had no clue about until I got here. So, nothing specific, never got to meet him, anything like that. But, certainly respect everything he did and happy for what he did for this university and the opportunity we have because of him.
Texas guy. So going back to the last game, did you supervise the mechanical bull? Have you ever ridden a real or mechanical bull in your Texas days?
Well, I've definitely never been on a real bull. Mechanical bull one time, yes, I did. I think I was at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth. If anybody's familiar with that big old huge country kind of bar, there's some concerts and stuff in there. I believe I was in a fraternity actually in college, and we had our formal at Billy Bob's one year, and we were having some fun, I believe, on that mechanical bull one night. And outside of that, no, and I did not monitor it here. Actually didn't see it, and probably should have worn my boots to coach in that day, though, or cowboy hat or something, just to honor the Texas roots.
You mentioned the respect for Iowa State's women's coach. What does Bill do that makes that program consistently good? Like, what are the key foundations?
Well, I think that, what he's done consistently is what makes it so special, and just the fact that he's been there for 20, whatever this year is now for him. It's been a long time, and to sustain success. And that's what I've always tried to be about, is how to, sustaining success. And I think that's one of the hardest things to do in college athletics, is to do that. And he's done it at such a high level for a long time. So, I think he's an X and O guy at its best. He can, get you in a blender a little bit as a coach, and he can control it over there from the sideline. And so you try to take that away from him if you can. But he'll play a bunch of different defenses. You don't know, you got to prepare for several things and have lots of game plans based on what you might think he will do. And again, I've only played against him twice, so I don't have a great feel. I've just always looked from afar and had respect for him. So, he's been around the game and had a ton of success and continues to do it today. He's evolved as the game has changed, and I think that's always impressive with coaches that have been at it for a while.